Today's guest is Clare Gregory, who will be sharing with us the brand new service that she is offering to the world called Swift Homeopathy, where you can get acute homeopathic consultations 365 days of the year and 24/7. So no matter where in the world you are or what time it is, you have got a homeopath you can talk to straight away. This is also a brilliant service for homeopaths who are looking to expand their clinic and who has space for more clients or who just don't like doing the marketing side of running your own business. So visit swifthomeopathyclinic.com or check out their Facebook group, Swift Homeopathy 365, or their Instagram. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now my mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and a very warm welcome to Homeopathy Hangout. Today, my guest is Clare Gregory. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm really excited when I first found out about the software that you're going to be telling us about today. And it sounds very much needed in this day and age. But before we get into that, please tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how you found homeopathy.
My background is corporate banking. Very, very boring. Did it for years. Absolutely loved it. Loved working with customers. Loved being with people and helping them sort out their finances. Challenge sometimes, but I loved being with the people. But yeah, personally myself, I went through some health issues when I had my second child, had some postnatal depression, and obviously the number one choice for that is to antidepressants. Go on antidepressants. That's the answer. I really didn't feel that was for me. And I was super lucky that a friend introduced me to homeopathy and said, why don't you try this? So being all naive and not understanding at all what it was about, I went off, had my consultation, got my little white pills, and was absolutely blown away by the results, how quickly I started to notice changes and just felt my old self coming back. But actually other things improved for me. My sleep got better. My husband was like, actually, you're a really nice person to be around now. It just, so many things changed for me. And so I really started using it for my family, using it for the kids. And gosh, it was probably about 10, 15 years later that actually I had an opportunity to actually study it. And at a crossroads in my life, what am I going to do with myself? Yeah, I'm going to become a homeopath. That's what I'm going to do. So went off to uni for 4 years, got myself qualified, and here I am.
That's so cool. So after sorting out people's financial mess, you now sort out their mental, emotional, and physical and spiritual mess.
Absolutely. And I love it. I love helping people. There's so many vulnerable people who just don't have the support networks around them. So coming to us and talking to us, and then we give them these little white pills. It just encourages their body to do its natural thing. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Amazing. And then you also saw a bit of a gap in the market there, and you've created something called Swift. Do you want to tell our listeners what that is?
Cool. It's so Swift Homeopathy Clinic. It's a new online clinic offering acute consultations 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Basically, here in the UK, we have our NHS system, and it's facing challenges, as is healthcare globally. It's all facing challenges. But particularly here in the UK, the NHS has released a list of 35 conditions that you can't get to see a GP for. And yeah, exactly.
Seriously, like what?
Okay, so we've got things like sore throat.
You can't see a GP for that.
No. I think if you phoned your GP and said it had been going on for over 2 weeks and it wasn't shifting, and then they might think, okay, this could be something more than just a sore throat. But for your basic acutes of coughs, colds, maybe conjunctivitis, kids' earaches, things like that, they're saying, no, these are self-limiting conditions. They're likely to go away in a few weeks. We're certainly not giving antibiotics out. So go and see your pharmacy. Or actually, a lot of the time that you're just told to go home and get on with it, which I felt wasn't very helpful. Lots of people at that time, acutes can make you feel really rubbish, and people just need to be heard and supported. And I thought, you know what? Why can't they be heard and supported and use homeopathy and feel better? So that made me think Swift is going to fill that gap. It's going to be there to help those people who feel unsupported around their acute healthcare. But yeah, I think other countries, like I said, globally, the healthcare systems need some help, and that's where homeopathy can step in.
Absolutely. Definitely since COVID, there's been a huge strain on the medical system in Australia as well, and I know worldwide. But we certainly can still see the doctor for sore throat. It's a blessing in disguise because it's forcing people to go and look for hopefully safer alternatives. And this is where homeopathy really has the opportunity to stand up. But I'm really shocked that they can tell people not to see their GP for anything. That's why they call it a GP, a general practitioner. They should be able to point you in the right direction for anything. That's really shocking, and it's setting a bit of a scary precedent, because then where is it going to lead to? But I mean, it's great for us. I don't care. I just feel sorry for all the people that don't know about homeopathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, that's the point. This coming in, Swift coming in, is a really great introduction to people who don't know anything about homeopathy. Now, I do think we are going to obviously appeal to people who already know a little bit about it. We're going to be there as their support network. Perhaps if they're home prescribing and things aren't going well, that they're not getting the relief for the person they're trying to help. So we can certainly boost their knowledge and education to help them become better home prescribers, but also be there for when things they're just not hitting the mark. But actually, people who've never used homeopathy, Swift is going to be a fantastic introduction. We're going to start with something small for them, something manageable that they can work with without overwhelming them about this magnificent system of medicine that's been around for over 200 years, that suddenly, I find it often, people say, what, that one little white pill is going to help me? I'm like, it's going to do something today, and then we'll see where we go. But I just think this Swift will just be that manageable introduction to people who will then see some results with their acutes and then think, okay, potentially I could use this for something bigger, something more ongoing. So I'm particularly excited about that this is going to be an introduction to people for homeopathy.
Now, obviously, you need a whole big team behind you to pull something like this off. I'm guessing you're not going to be there 365 days a week, 24/7, doing everyone's consultations.
No, I do need some. Yeah, I need some sleep. Yeah, we've got a great team, it was always expanding as well. Yeah, brilliant, lovely ladies who are passionate about helping people with homeopathy, and they come from all walks, all different backgrounds as well. We've got some who have just recently graduated, which is fantastic because they're all enthusiastic and they've got all this wonderful new fresh knowledge. And we have some that have been graduated for quite a few years, so we've got that experience, and it's all intertwined. And actually, one of the added bonuses of Swift, and something else I wanted to be able to give, other than just dealing with and giving to the communities for their health, I actually wanted to help homeopaths, because being a homeopath can be quite a lonely place to be. And I just wanted to give them somewhere where, being part of a team, they get encouragement, they get support, and they help each other develop and continue to develop. And we've already got a fantastic team who are just amazing girls.
No.
So yeah, looking forward to working with them all.
Are you still taking on new homeopaths, or is your team complete for now?
No, we are still recruiting. We would love to have a few more from Australia, New Zealand, America. We've got a couple of Americans on board. But yeah, we're happy to take homeopaths from all over the world, because actually this is a worldwide service we're offering. So we would love for people to feel comfortable speaking to people from their own cultures. So yeah, absolutely still encouraging all homeopaths to get in touch and have a chat with me.
Amazing. And also to cover all the time zones. I mean, if you're covering all the time zones, then that definitely makes things much easier as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the other thing, I feel that often there are some amazing homeopaths out there, but they are not busy simply because they just don't know how to market themselves. And I've got 5 homeopaths on my team, and they will all tell you they hate doing social media and they just cannot be bothered. So they just are happy to leave that all up to me. They just don't want to do any of the marketing. They're happy to just have the clients and just do their work, because that is what's called your zone of genius. That's their zone of genius. It's just doing the consultations. So quite happy to hand the marketing and all that over to somebody else. And it's brilliant that we do have that option these days, that there are services like yours where people can, a homeopath can join a team and have clients sent to them. Because if you are not naturally marketing minded, it can be very hard and very depressing to get yourself out there and so much energy wasted when all you want to do is heal people. But now you have to do all this schlep of trying to market yourself. So I love it from that aspect as well for the homeopaths.
Yeah, it is great. I don't have a marketing background myself. So media I'm a little bit hit and miss with, but I'm trying to get with the program there. But I am working with somebody who can help with that. But that is so right. We can waste an awful lot of our time trying to get our message out there when we really should be spending that time helping people with homeopathy for sure.
Exactly. And so is this just going to be for acute conditions or for chronic as well? Can you tell us a little bit, and maybe just tell our listeners the difference between the two for those who might be new to the podcast, but just difference between acute and chronic, and then if you are able to help with both.
Okay, cool. We've set it up initially to help people with acute conditions. Now, acute conditions are things that we would say are normally self-limiting, things that at some point they usually run their course in our bodies. They can produce some really intense symptoms that are very uncomfortable, but they usually go away they can last anywhere from a few hours to 2 or 3 weeks. They usually acute conditions are usually rapid onset. Quite often you can connect them with an exposure to something, maybe being out in the wet, in the cold winds, being exposed to somebody who's got a virus, something like that. But a bad food reaction, you can usually trace it back. And some examples of acute conditions, we've got coughs, colds, sore throats, earache, toothache, odd fevers that we get, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, conjunctivitis, lots and lots of things that children get over and over when they're just in their big classes. But yeah, things that just last for a couple of weeks. And homeopathy works brilliantly in shortening the time of that condition and just helping us feel back to our normal selves just that little bit quicker. It really is amazing. But also, at Swift, what we're doing is introducing the homeopaths to patients, as you quite rightly said. It's bringing the work to the homeopaths, and then the homeopaths are there. And if the patient would like to continue care for something a little bit more chronic, so chronic conditions such as maybe diabetes, migraines, arthritis.
Snap.
Yeah.
we see a lot of arthritis in our clinics.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, anxiety,
menstrual
depression,
issues. Yeah.
Yep, all of that, menopause, all of those things. These are things that have been around for a little while. They've probably been slowly creeping up on people, but they're going to take a little bit longer to deal with. They require a completely different treatment plan, an ongoing plan. But all of our homeopaths are there to offer that. So when the connection is made, it's then between the homeopath and the patient to form that bond and continued care for chronics. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, where do you see Swift fitting in? Because there are so many Facebook groups these days where you can get like free acute advice, and so many people are home prescribing already. So what do you see Swift's role in all of this, or where does Swift fit into all of this?
You're right. There's an awful lot of Facebook groups giving away information for free. And on one hand, I think that is absolutely awesome. I think getting the information out there and introducing homeopathy is an absolute must. However, I do think there's a fine line between having the information being given away free and it being actually really worthwhile information. And that sounds, I don't mean that to perhaps sound how it does, but home prescribing is amazing. Absolutely love it. But I do think there is a point in home prescribing where the prescriber is too close to the case.
100%.
And often on Facebook groups, and I belong to lots where I'm a homeopath that gives the advice, and quite often you're given a little snippet of information being asked to prescribe on. It's not enough. And then when you ask for more information, they just can't give it to you because they're just too close. And I use the analogy of a worn out mum. She's got 3 kids and now she's got a new baby, and the baby's been crying all day. It's now the middle of the night. She's exhausted. She's tired. She's pulling her hair up. Is she going to be looking for the right symptoms in her crying baby? Personally, I think she might miss something critical. I mean, if it's just a teething child, it's not a critical situation. But I think for choosing the right homeopathic remedy, she may just miss that one symptom that's going to be, that's the symptom that's going to pick me the remedy. I think that's where Swift is going to come in the middle of the night when mums are really, they've had enough. They can press a button and they're going to talk to somebody face to face within minutes.
Wow.
And it's going to be someone that'll be able to just calm, advise them, talk them through what's happening right now, give them some advice on the remedies. Because again, they likely come to us saying, I've tried this and it hasn't worked. And it's okay. It's just because we're missing that link to the one that's going to help the best right now. Let's just look at the symptoms and help them that way. I think that's where we're going to be really helpful. And also actually taking it away from mums and babies, because it's not all about that. But here in the UK, you have to wait till 8, 9 o'clock in the morning to make a call into any service that's going to be available. We're going to be alleviating that again because we're available through the night.
Imagine having a screaming baby with an earache at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and you can call somebody and get that advice straight away.
Straight away,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
absolutely.
And a problem shared is a problem halved. If you've got that crying baby and you've got a professional that can just listen and just take that responsibility, because he's still responsible for the child, but just take that, there's just the brain power out of you having to try and focus and do that.
Just straight away, you can relax them. Just like you said, just for the moment, you hold them in that space and you're supporting them while they're supporting their child. It's, really powerful, really powerful. And that's homeopaths. That's what we do, isn't it? We support our people.
Definitely. And how does it work if somebody is already working with a homeopath?
Okay. We love it if they're already working with a homeopath because they understand the process been happening, tell them what prescription they've been given. If it turns out that one of the homeopaths is one of the Swift team, we can communicate that within each other. And if the homeopath that someone's working with is somebody that's known to us, we will happily email them this prescription and let them know what's going on. But patients are always advised, please go back to your homeopath and tell them exactly what's been happening. We need to know if they're working with someone because it could be that they are having if they're already in the middle of a treatment plan, we need to know where they are in that. So it's one of the important questions for us to ask of people, where they are with their homeopathy right now.
Absolutely. They might have a return of old symptoms or something that's come up since the remedy their homeopath has given them. And now they're off on holidays and you can't check with a homeopath. So then, it's great.
That's it. And of course, the other thing to consider is that there are going to be people that do have or already in ongoing treatment with a homeopath. And like you said, the homeopath's not available, but this person's having a flare of some symptoms that they just need to have some relief for right now. So we're not going to embark on a whole treatment plan with them. We're just going to support them for this flare up and then until they can get back to their own homeopath to continue their ongoing care.
Claire, you've got me really intrigued now on what this website looks like. Can you show us a little bit about how people would go about booking and just have you got it all up and running yet? Or
okay, we actually go live today, the day we're recording. By the time everyone sees this, it will be out there and available. So it goes live in a few hours. But here is what the website actually looks like.
So this will go out in 1 week from recording. So what's today? Monday, I think. Hey, is today? Today's Monday. So this will go out Monday next week.
Excellent. So so it'll all be ready. So this is what the website looks like.
Nice and clean. And for those wanting to see the video, this will be up on Rumble, on the Rumble channel. So just rumble.com and then just type in Homeopathy Hangout and then you can have a look. Or just go to swifthomeopathyclinic.com.
Perfect. So we wanted to keep it nice and clean and fresh and simple. If it's not in front of them, people don't need to go looking through pages and pages of stuff. So it's really simple. You click on here, you want to chat to one of the homeopaths, chat now, and it takes you through and you get connected. So we've got a few little bits here about why Swift is so amazing and why it's so useful. And there's some pricing.
You give
there.
Aftercare as well for 48 hours. That's impressive.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly. It's via email. So you come on board, you have the consultation, which lasts for about 20 minutes. After that consultation, you are sent an email with your prescription, given all the advice on how to take the remedies, how to store them, where to get them if you don't have them. And then 24 hours later, you get an email to see how you're doing, see if anything's changed. And if things have changed, then we can readjust the treatment, which is the wonderful thing about homeopathy. We can readjust as things change. And then you get the same at 48 hours, just to you have moved through that acute phase and you're feeling better. But like I said, if at 48 hours people still aren't feeling good, there's the option to continue with care, and that's between the homeopath and the patient to sort out, and they can continue to have that until the patient feels much better.
Amazing.
But yes, for the fee that you pay for the consultation, you get 48 hours of care.
That's great. And have you got your team on there as well?
Yeah, we have. We've got a page here for the clinical team, and there's an individual. But here we go, our homeopaths. There's a bio for each one of them. You just click on each one, and it brings up a whole load of information about them, their journey, how they got there, and then you can get in touch with them directly if you want to.
Oh, amazing. So can you actually, say you have booked an acute in the past and you liked one particular practitioner, can you then just go back and book directly with them again through the portal? Okay, excellent.
Absolutely. And actually that's the beauty of it, because when you call into the portal, it's very much a duty. So you don't know who's going to be there. You're going to get a duty homeopath. And if you have already connected with people in the past, then quite often you want to go back to that person. So this gives you the facility to do that, contact them and try a few of our team and see which one you resonate with. Because I think homeopathy, that's all important, isn't it? The connection between the patient. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be there. So we wanted to be able to give people the choice for their ongoing treatment if that's the way they choose to go.
Amazing. Sure. And what sort of things do the homeopaths need to go through to be able to be on the team? So how do you vet them?
Okay, yeah. So all of the team are vetted. We have to check that they've been through a proper training schedule, that they are fully qualified. So we do check upon that. We also check their insurance to make sure they're all got that all in place and that's all covered. And we do all of them to belong to a registered body, an organisation such as here in the UK, it's the Society of Homeopaths or ARH or HINT. And then obviously in Australia, maybe is it the Association?
AHA or
AHA, yep. In North America, we would be looking for NASH associations, but just making sure they're belonging to a registered body that gives them more support as well.
Amazing. And do you have like team meetups and things, or do you what sort of things do you do to hold the homeopaths and make sure that they are doing their continued development or learning from each other? Is there anything set up for that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of WhatsApp groups going around between us all. So we're in daily contact with each other on there, giving daily support. As a whole team, and at the moment, actually, we're going to be doing weekly meetings, but actually it's going to come down to monthly meetings where we share our successes. We will get together where we can discuss things for change, because we believe change is good and necessary, and change means development and moving forward. So we love that. And actually we all get together and share ideas, because whilst I've started this, I don't profess to be all knowing about everything homeopathic. And as we move through, people can say, actually, if we thought about doing something like this, and that's a fantastic idea, let's do it. So we do come very much as a collective group of homeopaths that are just trying to hone this into being the best service it possibly can be. But also we have a peer group where we can work on cases together, and just because sometimes a difficult case, 2 heads is better than 1, 10 heads is better than 2. So we are definitely there as that support network for each other.
That's amazing. I'll tell you what, if your platform if the way that you communicate via email and organize things is anything to go by for this platform, then this will be top notch, because of all my over 300 guests that I've interviewed, you are certainly up there with one of the most organized. I always ask guests to send me talking points and links and their bio and their photo and all that. And usually it's like pulling teeth trying to get this information out of them. But I was so impressed by how you're yep, everything just bullet pointed with extra additional information that I didn't even ask for. It was it makes my job so much easier. I'm like, okay, this lady knows what she's on about. And I don't know if it's the background in banking or what, maybe it's your personality type or what it is, but you are clearly very organized, which actually gives me a lot of hope for this platform, knowing that somebody's super organized and really organizing all the nitty gritty. You said that you've got all the legal stuff in the background, because I can imagine giving health advice around the world, there will be all sorts of legal things that will be involved around that as well. So the fact that you've got all of that, your T's crossed and your I's dotted, gives me a lot of hope that this is going to be hugely successful, not just for the clients, but also for the homeopaths as well. I really look forward to seeing this do really well. And I have a quick question for you as well, just around prescribing methods. Have the homeopaths each got their own prescribing style, or are they told to mostly stick to like classical prescribing, or do they give like combos as well, or like organ supports, or is there any sort of brief on that, or do they each just use their own style of prescribing?
We've said to the homeopaths that they should maintain their own style. Us has our own style. All of the homeopaths that work with us are classically trained, so that is their background. But I think if you are classically trained, when you are prescribing for people, we have to change for the needs of the modern time, don't we? So giving one tablet and waiting, or giving one little pill and waiting to see what happens, is not always the best course of action for the patient in front of us. So we have to adapt anyway. We're not giving the homeopaths any strict regime that they have to work to. They are just being themselves and doing their own things. But we are going to be embarking on some CPD for some interesting new ways of prescribing for acute conditions. This won't mean anything to any patients out there, but for homeopaths listening, we've been recently introduced to polarity analysis.
Yes.
We're arranging for somebody who's very knowledgeable about that to come in and talk to us all to teach us about it. And it could be a potential for the homeopaths to choose to use if they resonate with it. But we're always going to be looking and keeping in touch with new things so that we can be sure that we're giving the patients the very best for their acute.
Is that Tim Shannon that you're talking to?
Sorry?
Is that Tim Shannon that you're talking to?
I haven't spoken to Tim, no, but I would love to. But we are definitely looking for people in all different fields of homeopathy that have got something that they can share with our team, that we can then, like I said, keep us totally up to date with what's going on. And because at the end of the day, it's all about getting results for our patients. So if it just means a little tweak to our prescribing methods, then we're all up for learning that. So definitely.
Amazing. I think
so. You could put me in touch with some people that can help.
Yes, absolutely. It was Tim Shannon I had on the podcast, but obviously Heiner Fry is the guy who developed polarity analysis. But Tim Shannon on episode 210, he does courses in it as well. So have a listen to that episode. This is actually one of my favorite parts of doing the podcast. I love like connecting people with each other.
It's brilliant. It's great because sometimes we can be stuck in our little corner of the world, not knowing some of this stuff even exists. So I think, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And of course, you've just come back from the conference. So that must have been amazing.
When people ask me about it, I don't actually really know how to answer it, because what happened there is so much more than what any of us ever expected. So I don't know how to answer the question of how was it without doing it a massive injustice, because it was just like out of this world. It was unbelievable. But we're having one again next year, so it should be good. Is there anything else?
Like-minded people in the same place, isn't it?
There's something magical about that. It's truly something magical. And tell us, Claire, is there anything else that we need to know about Swift? And maybe give us all your socials and the website and any other information of how people can get in touch with you.
Yep, we've got a Facebook group called Swift Homeopathy 365. So please feel free to come and join us over there, where we will be giving advice and tips on home prescribing and offering the support for when that isn't quite getting the results needed. We have an Instagram page as well, again, Swift Homeopathy 365, that's out there doing that. And just pop onto our website and have a look around. There's some information on there about us, tells you all about where we've come from and the clinical team and their profiles. So Google Swift and you'll find us.
Amazing. You're very brave to have a Facebook group attached to it as well, because running a Facebook group takes so much time.
You certainly can waste a lot of time on it. I'm lucky to say I've got some help with that. Yeah, trying to keep it. They can be like, they're good and bad, aren't they? They have a purpose, but they can be complete time wasters. So I have a lovely lady who keeps me on track there. She helps me produce relevant content that's going to be interesting and useful. There's nothing worse than a Facebook group that's full of just nonsense. So yeah, I've got somebody keeping me on track with that. So that's good.
It is a really nice little add-on to have, because in a Facebook group, even if you're just a lurker in the group, you can start to get a feel for the personality of the homeopaths. So if they're in there giving advice, you can get a feel. So if you then have to book, you feel, okay, no, I feel like I know this person. So it does create that artificial rapport, which does make it easier when you then have to work with someone.
And absolutely, each homeopath is going to be on there. We'll probably do a little spotlight on each one of them. And exactly that, they will be putting across their own personalities to people, and which is, like we've said, is important to build that rapport and have that connection with people.
100%. Oh, it was lovely to connect with you today. I'm so excited to go and have a little look. And I'm also really excited that when I go on a holiday that I have somebody to refer my clients to if my team's too busy. So it's great to have that backup, and especially with the time zones, even because most of my whole team is here in Australia. One is in Bali, but it's still the same time zone as us here in Perth. So for any of my clients who need somebody at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., all of my team is asleep, including me. So it'll be lovely to have somebody to refer them to for all hours of the day and night. So thank you so much for starting this. And just want to take a moment also to acknowledge the hard work that you've put in, because starting a business and having this idea is one thing, but then actually taking the blood, sweat and tears that you pour into creating this and actually making a reality is huge. So just a huge kudos to you for actually creating this, because so many people have so many ideas, but they never turn it into reality, and you've actually done it. And so I hope it's hugely successful and it will get a lot of support from the homeopathic community.
Lovely. Thank you, Eugenie. That's lovely. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you today.
All the best. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.